I see a lot of people that still have basically no idea what the real dilemma is in this country at this point. And it's weird because I feel like the cat's out the bag that the main issue in this country is there's too much influence and bribery from Jewish politicians that make the American politicians do things that are in the favor of Israel. And what I don't get is I still see one thing that's trending a lot, that a lot of more like prevalent now than before, was is this I see a race war going on. And I do believe that this is on purpose, and it is pumped out there by Kabbalah practicing Jews that run every inch and corner of the political field of this country. The same ones that own Hollywood, the porn industries, you name it. There's always a Steinberg behind something here. I mean, this country is pretty much a territory of Israel, and I feel like this is done on purpose because I feel like with hatred and having people harbor racism and fighting each other, it's easier to divide and control people. That's how the system works. And let me explain. When you see these politicians on podiums, whether they're left or right wingers, they're coming at each other on these podiums. They'll disagree with anything, and they'll have you fighting over culture, identity, and race labels. Things that people are very passionate about, and it's a sensitive topic for people that feel like they have to defend their people. Obviously, why would you not? But what people don't realize is a lot of these people, well, all of them, these politicians, one thing they all agree on is that they all support and love Israel. That's the one thing they can all agree on it, and that should be a clear indicator that like these people might not be the people we think they are. But you have these MAGA people that they'll blame. I see the race war, the Jews stirring the racial tension. You have these MAGA people, they're blaming like colored people for their issues. Meanwhile, your issue is that your white rich politicians are bribed out by Kabbalah practicing Jews, and they have screwed you up with hypercapitalism for the longest time. And for the other side, with the leftists and these Democratic politicians, your issue is not the person next to you or to the right of you. It's the same person that's bribed out your politicians or blackmailed your politicians that have deconstructed your neighborhoods and taken and allowed the system to pump in a subculture that has literally destroyed your communities for the most part. And I feel like what we need is unification as people. No matter if you're white, you're black, you're Latino, you're Asian, you're Native American, one thing we all have in common is that we're human beings, and it's not your skin color that matters. It's what's in here and here that matters. We shouldn't fall for Zion propaganda like these political parties that are so clearly infiltrated, just like everything else in this country, by Talmudic Jews. And I see that racism really is the root of all evil, and these people utilize it the best because they're the best at being evil. Literally satanic. And I say that because I believe Satan was the first racist, because when God told him to prostrate to Adam out of respect, he declined because of a racist mentality. It's the same racism that these Talmudic Satanists harbor in their heart. They believe, out of their book, the Babylonian Talmud, that everybody else that's not a Jew is a Gentile and Goyim. They categorize them as subhuman beasts and disposable, and they will do whatever it takes to benefit their own kind at the Goyim and Gentiles' expense. This is why they are using us, our blackmailed politicians like Trump, because of Mossad like Epstein, getting him to do what he did to young girls and who knows, maybe boys, to so they have blackmail on him to go do what he's doing now, which is a war with Iran that Netanyahu and Isaac Herzog want, to destabilize Middle Eastern countries like Iran, like we have done with the Afghan war, the Iraq war, to destabilize Middle Eastern countries around Israel, to make Israel prosper, to fulfill the greater Israel project and the third temple and the red heifer. This is also very theological and biblical. And we are doing Israel's dirty work because we have treason, we have traitor politicians, traitor presidents Bill Clinton, Bill Richardson before his death, and Donald Trump were the closest friends to Epstein, and there is no doubt that Epstein is a rapist, a Talmudic Satanist. These people knew about what was going on there. Trump definitely has dirt on him, and it's very clear that he's blackmailed because he posed no pushback on this war that's still going on, that he said it's going to end like how many times now? 4 to 6 times he said, and it hasn't. But for some people, for some reason, people don't see. A lot of people don't see this, and they continue to be loyal to Zionist propaganda parties that pump garbage in their head, and they're just like, yeah, feed me that. Let's go Israel. In the U.S., Israel is not our ally. We are a colony of Israel. We don't gain anything from Israel besides porn and spyware. All our currency goes into Israel's infrastructure, their military, while we suffer from that collateral damage of starving ourselves. People need to wake up, This is not just happening in Israel. This is not just happening to the Palestinians. It is happening in Lebanon. It is happening in Sudan with the RSF. It is happening in Ukraine. How Zelensky doesn't care about his own people. He is also a Talmudic Jew. We need to unify as people and stop harboring racism that's given to us by the system that is owned by these people. We have to unify. Black, white, Latino, Native American. Like I said, it's about what matters in here and here, not your skin color, not your complexion. If you have God in your heart, and if you fear Almighty God, and if you have a little ounce of humanity, you would understand what I'm saying. We need to stop these people by any means necessary. We have to stand up to the system. We have to unify as people. And that's all.